Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first video of 2025. So, I hope all you guys had a fantastic Happy New Year celebration. Hopefully this year is going to be a great one. Of course, we can only cross fingers and hope to see what this new year has to bring. But anyway, I thought a great way to start off this year with my first video is I thought I'd go ahead and show you a small project that I've built for the next possible garden model railway video. Just now, this is only just a test build. This isn't 100% going to be exactly what it is. I've just put some track down just to see what it all looks like, and I think I've come up with a pretty somewhat ideal setup. But I'll go ahead and flip the camera around and I'll show you what this looks like. So, to start off, we do just have a single main line that heads up what is actually a pretty steep grade, not that you can see now, but just up here is the little thing I've built. So I'll go ahead and quickly show you around, and then I'll explain what all these sections are for, what their purposes are going to be. But if you haven't noticed, this is going to be the terminus or beginning of this somewhat branched line, which would originally have actually started all the way down there if you watched my other two garden model railway videos. Now I'll go ahead and show you, of course, what my plans are for this area and what the purposes are for all these certain sections. So to start off, we've got this area here, which is going to be a small depot area for only passenger trains. So as far as I've been thinking, locomotives, maybe some DMUs can go in there. These two tracks here can be again used for maybe DMUs such as sprinters or velocities, if I ever do get any of those. But mainly my idea for now is just to put passenger cars such as NSETs or S-cars or any of those type of coaches just in here. And those are going to be mainly strictly to either locos or DMUs, again, just depending. But this is going to be a only passenger type of yard section. Now, as far as coming down here, we've got, as you can see, a free track that heads towards over there. Now, I'll quickly explain how this is all going to work. So this line that heads down to here, and that will cross up to here. These two sections are going to be mainly only used for passenger trains. So of course we've got a passenger station right here. Give you a bit of a better look. It is a bit small, so I do plan to get a couple more sections of wood or something to spread it out a bit. But of course, if you want to know, the way I do plan to make this work is a passenger train will come through here, across these points, head into that, and then it's got one or two options. It can either reverse back through the points but straight into the yard where it'll put the carriages and then into the loco shed, pretending like it's getting refueled or whatever, or stops but disconnects, comes up to the end of the track here, reverses back up on this line here, then stops, reverses back, and then hooks up to the other side, and then eventually again will take off. So as far as the passenger section goes, that's how I do plan to make it work. But as far as these tracks, these three, they're going to be mainly only used for freight. So to start off, this freight track here, the closest to the passenger lines, is going to be known as the arrival or departure track. So trains that have already been made or that are coming in to this area, and then as you'll see, we do have a point here, although I am already considering maybe having to go in the other way, so then that way freight trains that come in can then use the points this way to shunt wagons into here, instead of like going up this way, because again I don't think the freight trains might be able to fit, so I'll have to do some changes. Now as far as these two tracks are, as you might have sort of understood now, these are going to be mainly used for loading and unloading, and I actually want to try and have this these lines have a purpose. So I want to try and make the freight trains actually carry certain things to actually this area. So this is actually going to be potentially a veggie garden at some point soon. We do plan to actually restore it, and so I thought it'd be a good idea that maybe I can get some coal wagons, such as those quarry type of ones, that can bring in some plant seeds, or have it where the I'm just going to call them that little like gondolas can come and pick up some fruit or vegetables as long as they're small enough, and then take them away as needed. So yeah, I'd like to see if I can make a somewhat reliable model railway in some way, but that's a while away. But yeah, so we've got the two main passenger lines, the departure or arrival freight line, and then two only loading or unloading freight lines. Now as far as over here, this is actually something I've just thought of me building this, but I want to maybe plan to have this as a separate depot for freight locos only. So that way we have a couple different loco service facilities. So we've got a passenger facility on one end and a freight one on the other. Now I haven't got any buildings or anything for the freight loco, so I'm going to have to try and see if I can find one and of course build it. But let's see what happens. It's going to be 4 tracks, so I'll be able to fit a decent amount of locos, I would say. Probably about good 8 or so. Now as far as these 2 tracks, as you have probably noticed by now, do curve around here. And although they do just end here, I didn't run out of track. I just simply couldn't complete what I wanted because, well, we've got all these, but eventually I do plan to move these trees out the way. They are all in pots, so none of them would get harmed. For any of you tree lovers out there, don't worry. All of these are in pots, so I can just move them when I need to, but I'll just go ahead and tell you what my plans are. So these 2 tracks are going to end up curving, then head straight here, and then I'm still thinking whether I want 4 or 6 tracks, but we'll have a somewhat storage yard which will probably start roughly where this pot here is, big one, and then it'll be just nothing but between 4 or 6 tracks, and then they'll all just end up stopping around here. So those will be just probably mainly storage tracks for freight wagons and stuff like that. So then that way we've actually got a place to store freight wagons. But overall guys, those are my ideas and plans for the potential next Garden Model Railway video. Now, I can't promise that this is going to come out fairly soon because I want to actually maybe wait for the new Ascision N classes to come out. The only thing is though, I have got no doubt that those things are going to take a while to be released. I wouldn't be surprised if it is going to be over a year. So look, I would not expect this to be out anytime soon, unless of course it is a miracle that the N classes do come out you know, fairly early or midway through the year. I do cross fingers that will happen, but who knows. But just now, I don't really want to start this until I have the N classes, as most of my locos are used for passengers, like for the passenger trains are actually mainly like meant for freight only, like Freight Australia and V-Line Freight and all that stuff. So yeah, I want to see if I can maybe wait for the proper passenger locomotives to take the role. But with that being said though, everyone, let me know what you think. Obviously, if you guys have any other ideas that might work better, you can obviously let me know in the comments. Or, of course, if you think this is a good idea, great. I think overall, just me just coming out with this in my head, I don't think it looks too bad. But I just mainly need to find a loco shed for this area and think about if I want to have 6 tracks or 4. storage tracks going through here. But again, we'll see. But I'll go ahead and quickly show you some pictures of some locos and rolling stock on this small display, just to show you what it's going to look like with trains on it. But with that being said though, everyone, that's going to be it for me for my first video of 2025. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.